Hey y'all, what's happening? So, I just wanted to come on here and say a little something in regards to mental health. Okay. Now, I don't know what everybody else did for the holiday, but for me, I sat around and I watched some Christmas movies and so forth. But before I did that, one of the movies that I watched, and I know it's not really Christmassy, but it kind of is because there's a Christmas part in there. I watched Mommy Dearest. Yeah, I've been wanting to watch it for a while, and I just want to say that people need to stop throwing around terms like, "Oh, they're such a narcissist." You don't know what a narcissist is. Uh, until you have looked up the definition of a narcissist and you actually really have a true understanding of what a narcissist is, please stop throwing around these terms. Oh, that person is bipolar, this person is borderline, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to what? When I watched, and for those of you that have seen Mommy Dearest, you know that lady was straight up crazy. If you are unfamiliar with that movie, it's on YouTube. Watch it, Mommy Dearest. Uh, and if you haven't seen it in a while, you really need to go back and refresh your memory because when I tell you this lady was fucked up to the highest, like she really needed medical help. And she had at least four different things that I could see. She had compulsive, obsessive compulsive disorder. She had bipolar disorder. She had borderline personality disorder, and she had narcissist personality disorder. This lady was really messed up and on no medication. Okay, fuck little Christina up. I understand why Christina was in that bathroom talking about some Jesus Christ, and why at the end of that movie she was like, Jesus Christ. Please stop throwing these terms around lightly because I'm just tired of hearing people say these different things when you really have not fully experienced it or don't understand it. And you say it like it's like the whole new thing is just calling people a narcissist. Um, but do you actually know what a narcissist is? Sometimes we are saying these terms for people that really is not what they are. They just some selfish motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? They just need help in other ways. They need to do some growing because they are emotionally immature and still handle things like they are, you know, 3, 4, and 5 years old. Um, I work in the I work in the healthcare field. What the hell? Oh my God. I'm sorry, y'all. I work in the healthcare field. And I would say, I'm sorry, the mental health field. And when I tell you, um, is that a fucking beetle? These bugs. Spider cricket. Um, when you up close and personal see a lot of these disorders being, you are not going to casually throw these terms around because some of the people that go through them and the people that have to deal with them, you really would feel bad for them. I would not want to be in that place. I really would not. But this is where we are. And because mental health is being looked at and presented in a whole different way now, and we're in a place in life where we can begin to talk openly about these things. More people are getting diagnosed and more people are able to come forward with it. You know, there's support groups out there for people to be able to handle it. There are better facilities that can better aid people that have these different diagnoses. For those of you who don't fall under a stigma of feeling like you can't talk about it, because this is the thing, especially amongst Black people, because you know we all have so-called had that crazy person in the family that we would not talk about their behavior and stuff like that, and we would try to hide them away. We can talk about this stuff now, people. We can talk about it. And so we actually should. But I just wanted it to be something, you know, that we recognize. And for my own personal reasons, it's something that I really don't take lightly. When it comes to dealing with mentally ill, this is something that most people do not know about my history with my family, but there are a lot of individuals in my family that suffer from mental health issues. And from the time that I was 2 years old, living with my grandmother, we lived in a double house in New York. And our family lived on one side, and my grandmother had 8 male patients, mentally ill patients on the other side. And I remember one patient in particular named Barry, because Barry snatched out my tooth. I had a loose tooth as a kid, and I was I was riding my bicycle, and I went over to him, and I had showed him. I was like, look, and he was sitting on the porch. He was like, come here, because I was like wiggling it, you know, like back and forth. I was like, I have a loose tooth. And he was like, come here, let me see. And he said like this, grabbed it and snatched it really hard out of my mouth. And I was like, and it's like blood was dripping down. And he gave me the tooth and I ran, you know, this tooth in my hand, you know, screaming, and blood is like coming down my hand, down my mouth. And my grandmother like yelled at him. But then, you know, back then too, there really was no real way of being able to regulate the behavior of these people. And looking at, you know, what you were able to do as far as having in your home, you know what I'm saying? These were supposed to be people that were able to, in some way or other, be able to be integrated into the and be able to function to some degree. So from there, you know, my mother, when I was staying with my brother, my mother and my brother, my mother decided to have 2 mental health patients live in the house with us, and it was a one white guy named Jay, and the other female Black chick named Gloria. Used to always walk around nude with a robe, and I mean, she'd just be letting that thing fly open and casually, you know, close it with no kind of tie or nothing. And it's just like Jay would always walk around with just a shirt and his drawers, and it's just like, my goodness, can I can't have company coming over and seeing this. We'll sit outside. But Gloria was getting high in the house and almost burnt her house down. So my mom was like, you know, and I don't know, I don't know what she did or what she was doing, but she broke the handle off of one of our cast iron pans. How in the hell do you break the handle? Do you know how hard it is to break the handle off of a cast iron pan? So from there, my mom decided, you know, I'll just watch patients in the house. So she watched patients in a residential home, which was really nice. And I would go over there with her a lot. I ended up working in the healthcare field in New York for 10 years. I worked in the mental health field, and for 4 of those years, I worked in the actual the psychiatric center. 4 of those years, I worked in residential. When I left, I became the manager for a short period of time over 2 mental health homes. And then I left and most recently have worked in a mental health hospital facility in Florida, which I am no longer a part of because I'm not in Florida anymore. So my own personal practice is being a holistic spiritual counselor. And I do have people that I work with. Mental health is something that I care deeply about, but I like to attack it from my own personal way, in a holistic way, not just dealing with the symptoms, but dealing with the individual mind, body, and spirit, because they're all interconnected. We are multidimensional beings, and there are herbal remedies and crystals that can help people when it comes to alleviating these mental health issues. It may seem very far-fetched, but if there's particular changes in people's diets, that can attribute to their mental health. And I'll tell you, if you don't think that it is something, guys talk all the time, or I'll say like this, guys talk all the time about females when it comes to a woman's period and how they start acting. Oh, you got PMS because, a woman starts acting, a little haywire. Women can attest to actually feeling a chemical shift in their body when they are going through their cycle and their period is about to come on. And I didn't really recognize it within myself until I started to really be mindful of how I started feeling before my period came. And I'll always keep track like in the calendar, so I would always know when it was coming. And I started really paying attention to my cycle, my behaviors, my moods, and stuff like that. And I began taking St. John's wort and valerian root to help alter my mood when it came to PMSing, because I noticed that I would get extremely angry or become extremely sad or get extremely excited and happy, and like, my goodness, it is a real thing, and it can be controlled by things that we put in our bodies, certain herbs in our diets, the things that we eat. Magnesium is very helpful if you are suffering from some form of depression. It can help to elevate your mood. There are other things that you can take that can help alter your state of mind. There's many different things, and it's not really practiced that much in the Western world, but in Eastern medicine, a lot of those Eastern countries, they're farther along in the game than we are, and we're just kind of like catching up because, some people also are so far behind that they don't want to look at anything any different when it comes to anything outside of how we practice in the United States, but the United States in a lot of ways needs to catch up with some of the practices in other countries because they are way ahead of us when it comes to certain things scientifically and health-wise. So looking at the way that, we talk about these different terms and how we just so casually throw them around, I'm just trying to say, really look at a person's behavior and understand what a specific thing is before you understand what the term is before you just go throwing it around casually. Because if it came to you, I'm pretty sure that you would not want someone to just lightly throw that term out there for you for anything, because you'd be, quick to defend yourself when it comes to it. You know what I'm saying? It just does not feel good, and it's a real thing. It is something real that a lot of families and friends have to deal with their families and sometimes their friends. Even people that are trying to maintain and hold down jobs, suffer from different mental health disorders. So just be aware, and look into some alternative things that actually could help. This is one of the reasons why on my channel, my Divination with D channel, I like going through the crystals, because if you can believe that a crystal can help to aid you when it comes to helping you when it comes to love, like the rose quartz or jade quartz, then it shouldn't be far-fetched for you to be able to believe that crystals can also help you when it comes to your psychological health, mental health, and your physical health. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. But do your research, people. Do your research. But a lot of the things that I talk about, definitely go hand in hand, with the crystals, goes hand in hand with mental health. And you'll see all the different things that they talk about. If you look on my Divination with D channel, where I go over the different crystals and stuff like that. But it is something that really is close to my heart. And hopefully, just through this brief video, not so brief video, you guys will gain a little bit more of more insight and understanding when it comes to mental health and certain terms that have been getting thrown around. Do your research and show some compassion when it comes to individuals that are going through mental health issues, because we've all seen some of these people on the street that just talk to themselves. And I always look at someone like that, and I always say I'm pretty sure that when they were a child, that their parents did not ever envision them to grow up to be that kind of an individual, to see them that way. And I'm pretty sure that they never thought that in a million years as a child that they would end up being that way. I always think that when I see people in that kind of way. And it just touches my heart. So hopefully this was educational. I would love to get some feedback. And you guys can let me know what your experiences have been with, situations when it comes to dealing with mental health. Maybe you have some of your own issues, but don't be afraid to talk about it. If you need to see a therapist, definitely. If you feel like there is something there, then get psychologically evaluated to see. Take care of your mental health. It is very important. There is nothing more important than being psychologically and mentally healthy. So Thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope that it was educational and informative for someone. Peace.